You can study for 6 hours a day. The only thing stopping you is you do not have the right study tips. And here are 5 key important takeaways for studying as a lazy person. I have a microphone, so you should definitely listen to what I have to say. Hi there, I'm Ore, and welcome back to my channel. Realistic study plans. A lot of us have unrealistic study plans, especially as students. As students, obviously, we go to class and then we have to manage going to class with actually studying. A lot of us say like, oh, when we are done with classes, immediately we'll study. Why that might work for 10% of people, it would not work for you because your brain is already tired of the classes and everything. Imagine having an 8 to 5 p.m. class and you're telling yourself, oh, once it's 6 p.m., I'll start reading. Even though you might actually pick up your book and read, you would not be effective and there will be low assimilation rate. So why waste that time when you can do something else? Now, this is how to effectively plan your study. Now, the first thing to do is understand your body. To study well, you have to understand your body. When most are you active? When most are you sleepy? When most do you want to play with social media? When you've identified all that, that is when you know how you are going to read. Now, for me, let me give myself as a case scenario. I like reading at night, so this is what I do. If I have classes from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., I sleep from a duration of maybe 8 p.m. or maybe 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. or I sleep from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. and then I start reading once it's like 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. till the next morning. Now, what this does is that when you rest before your reading time, it makes you more active. Let's say normally you're active at night and then you decide to sleep before that time. It actually makes you more active, and when you are reading, you understand this better and like you don't get frustrated. It is ineffective to say, oh, you want to study and then 2 hours later you're still on 2 slides. Why are you on 2 slides? The reason why you're wasting time is because you do not have a very good assimilation at that point in time. Rest instead. Do something that will give you energy later on. Use AI tools immediately you are done studying. There is no better form of active recall than using AI. So basically, a lot of people say, oh, use AI, but this is actually how to effectively use AI. There's a lot of AI you can use. For me, I use Jungle, I use Gizmo, I use ChatGPT, I use Meta AI on WhatsApp, and I use like Notes KLM. So basically, this is what you do. You upload your slide or your notes in any of those apps, and then it generates flashcards or questions you can do. The thing is, when you answer question immediately you are done reading, it helps you think that, oh, did I read very well? Do I need to still go back? And when you're answering this question, like, oh, let me check the answer, let me do this. And it's like, oh, preparing you for exam settings. Those might not be the questions that come out in your exam, but definitely you've gained something. You've kept some information. Maybe either you did not get it. It's not a must that, oh, you're doing all these AI questions and you must get the answers. Some it's just for you to remember. In fact, if you do not get the answers, you check the correct answer and then you can never forget. So it's very important to implement AI in what you're studying. You cannot just study and say, oh, I'm done studying, and then you just revise it and go to sleep. But if you implement AI tools and generate questions for yourself and answer those questions, it really helps you tax your brain. It's not just about, oh, doing the past questions of your school. I know, yes, you can do past questions of like your school and your institution and stuff, but those past questions are generalized in the sense that it is a lot of topics that are in that past question. But using an AI, you put one note. Let's say you have a slide of 60 pages, you put that slide there only, and it generates questions from just that 60 slides. Then you can evaluate yourself and say that, oh, how well did I read? How well did I study? Surround yourself with the right energy. While this might not be the case for everyone, it is the case for some people. You can't be around people that prefer to sleep and use social media at the time to study and expect not to get distracted or get bored. Imagine, oh, you've planned to read and you plan to study and your roommates are like, oh, your roommates want to play, they want to watch film and everything. Oh, you're using earpiece or you're using some kind of noise cancellation to read among them. I'm not saying you would not read effectively, but you want to hurry up that reading. Let's say you are planning to read for 4 hours. You can read for 2 hours and be like, I've tried. At least somebody's here lying down. But then at least somebody is also out there that is studying for 6 hours and the person is not getting tired. The thing is, if the people around you are your problem, leave them and move somewhere else. You don't have to read in your room. If you know your room is a distraction for reading, don't read in your room. Study around people with similar energy as you. You don't have to sit in front of someone and say, oh, let's study together. They can be sitting on their own and you can be sitting on your own, and both of you are not reading the same courses, but both of you are motivating each other to read. The thing is, you have to also find people that match your study time, like the time you like to read. If you like to read at night, you will definitely see people that read at it. Honestly, they do not have to be in your level, they do not have to be studying your course, they do not have to be anything remotely to what you're studying. Once someone is studying in an environment, you can study there too. Like, it just gives you this motivation rather than staying somewhere where they are playing TikTok and they're doing TikTok dance. You're putting earpiece and you're saying that, oh, you will not get bored of reading. My dear, you get bored of reading. You write down key points. Now, this step is actually for people who use digital resources a lot. You read your notes on your laptop, you write your note on a digital notebook. Like me, I write on a digital notebook, so like this is actually directed at me. You have to actually learn to write on paper and with a pen, because your exams are going to be on paper and with a pen, except it's CBT or any of the sorts. Now, if you are used to reading your slides and you're just reading the slide, yes, you would actually do well, but you would do well averagely compared to someone that reads that note and writes down key points. It is essential that you write down key points. You don't have to write the whole slide back, but there are definitely something that are important in this. Like, okay, imagine I'm reading biology, and then I'm reading supporting tissues in plants, I'm reading parenchyma, all this stuff. I just read it. I don't practice writing parenchyma, I don't practice writing any of these big words, and then I just keep reading it. I know it, I say it. When people ask me that what is this, I say it. Then I get to the exam hall, then I'm having difficulty just putting my words together because I've not practiced writing before. You have to continually practice your writing. You not say, oh, I'll type it on my phone or write it on a digital notebook. When you get to exam, you're not writing on anything digital, you're writing on paper. You have to get you accustomed to writing on paper. In fact, when you ever enter the exam hall and you see those questions, you can imagine yourself writing it like when you are doing your studying, and it really helps. So when you're writing it again in your exam, you're writing it more accurately, you're writing it better. Set a time limit while you study. This is the most effective study method ever. Like, I stopped using this method and then I realized how long I took to study, and then I started implementing it like 3 days ago, and I saw the wonders it did for me. You have to set a time limit. Imagine, oh, I have a slide of 100 pages and I'm just like, oh, I'm going to read it today, and then I start reading 9 a.m. I'm on it, 10 a.m. I'm on it, 11 12 p.m. I'm on it, 1 p.m. I'm on it, 2 p.m. 3 p.m. 4 p.m. I'm on it. I'm on an 100-page slide for more than 7 hours. I'm not saying that it's not possible, you can read slowly, but honestly, it is not advisable because you also have a lot of things to do. The first thing to do is that, first, if you have an 100-page slide, you can just dedicate that, oh, 2 hours, I want to finish this thing. So like, let's say I'm starting now, I'm like, oh, by 11 a.m. I must be done. So from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. that tries to like motivate you that, oh, this slide, oh, I must be done by 9 a.m. So you're reading actively, you're not letting any distractions come in. You're like, oh, I must finish this thing before 11 a.m. because you have it to, even though you might not finish it, you will have gone far. Let's say, oh, I plan to finish 100 slides in 2 hours. I might have gotten to slide 60 something. Is that not worth it? Than spending the whole day on just 100 slides? You have a lot of books to read. You cannot waste time. So you have to be fast and smart about studying. TikTok and Instagram people, move forward. You cannot study and be checking your Instagram and your TikTok in between your studying. I know I do this. I am so guilty of this, but that is something that actually slows down your reading. Imagine you are planning to read for 4 hours, and then in between each 4 hours you're saying, oh, I'm going to take a 20 minutes break. While a 20 minutes break is okay, the 20 minutes break should not be a break that would affect your studying. If you know that you're a person that once you open TikTok you will not be able to leave it, imagine like, oh, I'll just take a break for 20 minutes and you end up spending 40 minutes on TikTok. Auntie, was that really the plan? So you have to make sure that your breaks match with your energy, and use your break to do something that will not distract you. If it's a 10-minute series, for me, I watch MSA, it's a 10-minute series. If you know, oh, it's something like, oh, you just arrange your corner or something, you can just do something that will not demotivate you from reading. While using TikTok as a break mechanism is actually good, it can also be distracting depending on the person you are. So you must then understand yourself that, oh, what distracts me the most? You should not use that as your break. You should not, because you're trying to study. You cannot be distracting yourself in between your study. What should be your break should not be something that can hinder your next step in reading, because now you want to continue reading, but you already scrolled on 30 minutes on TikTok and you're already feeling bored that, in fact, is this reading really worth it? So you have to structure the way you put breaks in between each study plan. Sadly, my time is up for today. I really hope the study tips help you. I'll be sure to add more study tips. I have over 20 study tips that help me study effectively as a lazy person and as somebody that has really low attention span. So if you have really low attention span, just implement these tips, and then I'll have more tips for you guys that I'll upload soon. And don't forget to put God in whatever you do. Put God first. Pray for retentive memory, pray for grace. Just pray to God to open your eyes to be able to understand what you're reading, because God is the most important thing. So yeah, that's the end of this. Thank you guys for watching. Bye, and don't forget to subscribe.